So for coaches back there, this is something we also need to be vigilant of in terms of kids that are super involved, kids that are involved in sports. You think, well, they're working out, they're, dedicating all this time to be good at the game and at the sport. Drug types and impacts, signs of impacts. I've given you a chart. I want you to look through that. This is what I want you to check, folks. I want you to put a check mark, a big check mark or asterisk over stimulants, I want you to put a big check mark right next to that over phencyclidine. That's PCP. Okay. I want you to put a big check mark over hallucinogenic drugs. Okay. Those are the substances that if people are abusing any combination of those drugs, they can become highly volatile. He had so fried his neurotransmitter for serotonin that would allow one to sleep that he could not sleep. Yes. So, I used to do an experiment to actually show you this. No, I'm going to do it. My coach, come on down here. Come on down here. Yeah, on the end. Come on down. Run down the aisle like you're at the Price is Right show. Don't be playing with me. Okay. There's just no new car out there for you, though. Okay, we're going to do a quick experiment right there. Okay. How many of you have ever had a gut-busting laugh? Man, you laughed so hard it hurt. Been there? Right. Okay. When you use a certain amount of drugs to a point where it initially feels very good, but then it starts to hurt the body begins to prune itself so that it can't experience that feeling anymore. Initially, me acting as a neurotransmitter, I'm going to throw this drug to what we call a neuroreceptor, and when it hits the receptor, the person gets high. Catch that. Okay? Yeah. And so then the person keeps taking the drug, the receptor catches it in the brain, he gets high. Then it gets to the point where it's just feeling too good to the point where it hurts, and so the body begins to shield itself from receiving that signal, and it stops catching the signal, drop it. When it gets to that point, if it's serotonin that is being discharged and the body stops producing that very element that allows one to sleep, you can't sleep. And that's what happened to Michael Jackson. He fried his neuroreceptors to the point he could not sleep unless he was anesthetized. These are just some people that use drugs. Let me give them to you. These two young ladies in the back, down there at the bottom, those are George Bush's twins. One was caught with possession of crack cocaine, the other underage drinking. Dad is a recovering alcoholic. Their cousin got caught falsifying a prescription pad for Xanax. Barack Obama admitted to using cocaine. Bill Clinton said he didn't inhale. Mr. I did not have sex with that woman, right? Okay? So we see that this is pervasive across all kinds of populations. So I just want to get to this and close. I want to say this. There's so much more to this material that I could not share with you in this time. You really need to be aware, if not just for you as a teacher, but for your nieces, your nephews, your own children. Protect them, because there's so much coming at them. You can go to websites and learn how to get high. You can go to websites and learn how to fake you out so that they're not caught, such as Uncle Fester's Methamphetamine Cookbook. It's online. 420.com. It's online. Arrowwig.com. It's online. There's all kinds of ways that they can figure out or be drawn into this wicked realm. There's a young lady that is from the University of Akron who first started using drugs when she was in high school, actually middle school. She's going to talk to you about her experience, and we're going to give her about 4 or 5 minutes to just share what you need to know and what happened to her.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keela. I am a senior at Akron U. I am getting ready to graduate with my bachelor's in the fall, and I'm going to go ahead and get my master's. I had severe, emotional self-esteem issues growing up, and I found that the kids that did drugs were very accepting towards me. They didn't care what you looked like, what you weighed, how much money your parents made, what kind of house you lived in. They accepted you because we were all in it together, to either, snort cocaine or smoke weed. I went through a lot of that growing up, even going through spells of using, not using, getting clean and then not using, and then I hit this spot where I started using for a while. And because of my using, I ended up stealing from my parents. And because of that, I had forgery charges on me and I am now a felon. I try to explain to, young kids and everybody that, without a proper support group, my parents were actually the ones that got me in trouble. They're the ones that turned me into police for stealing from them. And I thank them for that, because I would be sitting in prison right now if it wasn't for that. But I think as teachers, the support that you guys can give children, make yourself available towards them. Let them know that, hey, we're human, we make mistakes. We've all been there, done that, maybe not to the extent of some. But as long as everybody feels that they can come and approach somebody, that you guys would be able to change the life of one other student. And as long as you change one student, what else is better than that? So the way I look at it is, I've made mistakes in my past, but I refuse to let that define me who I am in the future. So thank you guys for listening to my story, and here is Ty.
Okay, Keela, I'm just going to ask you a couple more questions, and thank you guys. Keela, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap. Keela, you were involved in a program once you were involved in a court system, and it involved assessing mental health needs. And what did they find?
I am actually bipolar, and I have an anxiety disorder. And after talking to different counselors and doctors, I should have been diagnosed with this as a child. I had emotional issues all growing up, and they say that a lot of reason people start using is because they have mental health issues. They don't know how to handle stress or rejection like other people can.
Let me jump in there. 60% of people that have bipolar actually end up straying into the world of abusing stimulants, cocaine. The one that starred as Princess Leia, actually, what's her name? Carrie Fisher. She falls in that category. She's bipolar. Charlie Sheen, we're going to find out, his crack cocaine use and all that stuff, he is self-medicating. Yeah. I want to just ask one final question and then bring this train into the station. Go right ahead. Keela, what's your GPA?
I am almost a 2.9.
Okay, and what's your plans for the future?
Well, I'm going to get I'm in the process of applying for my master's as we speak, but I would like to do more of public speaking towards, other people and to children, to try to refrain them from making the same mistakes that I did.
Okay, and the last 4 semesters, you have been on what list?
The dean's list.
Okay. Thank you. So, folks, there is hope. Again, I really appreciate your time. I'm just going to close out with just a simple poem that really means a lot to me. And then those folks that did win, you had, the highest scores on those tests or quizzes that we gave you. Just come on down and see me afterwards. If anybody has any questions, come on down and see me. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote this and penned this years ago. He said, "Lives of great people all remind us that we too can live our lives sublime and leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Footprints that some forlorn shipwrecked brother or sister, once seeing, can have hope again." Your role as teachers is just absolutely monumental. You may say things to students and never know the implication and impact that you had in that child's life. But trust and rest assured that if you plant positive seeds of affirmation and building up people or catching people that fall into the margins, as we've been talking about, flowers will grow. Keela is an example of that.